Hang on one second. I jumped out to the banner is not backwards, so your view is not flipped. So you are not reversed. That looks good.
I need a longer finger.
Don't we all?
I got the camera so it's up a lot higher, so it has a better downward view, but now I can't reach it unless I move it.
Oh no!
And now it wants me to leave meeting.
It wants you to leave the meeting?
Yeah, this meeting has been live streamed, or is being live streamed. By staying in the meeting, you consent. Well, I got to say got it or leave meeting.
Yes, got it.
So we can't put it up high until after mom says got it.
Oh, so you literally can't reach it at all?
No, it's, remember I told you I could get it up in the corner so we could get a much better view?
You were talking about the idea.
Well, I implemented the idea.
Yeah.
So she could be right here,
Yeah.
or even right here.
Yeah.
So I got it up about another, I don't know, 28 inches.
Okay. Yeah,
It's not overly sophisticated. Pardon?
So I was gonna say, it's amazing how small the camera view is on that second generation iPad.
Yeah. And I put a heater in here so she won't freeze.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah, I noticed our heater running a lot because ours tries not to run. It only runs intermittently. It's not one that stays on consistently. But it was running all night. I think we were in the 20s last night.
Yeah, well, when we get down below about 36, ours is a heat exchanger and there's no heat in the air. So we were down to 28. And so the only thing that ours does is it kicks on the afterburners. It's like lighting up your oven. And that by the time you blow cold air that's very cold over the afterburners, it's not very warm.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It works well if I heat up the house before we go to bed with the fireplace, but for a bunch of reasons, I didn't build a fire last night.
Reasons happen. Even there, yeah, I like the banner. Covers up the mattress. That's a good look. So how did you raise the camera view? What's the iPad on? Did you just raise the tripod?
It's on 2 cardboard boxes.
Oh, that works.
Overly sophisticated.
Hey.
I tried raising the tripod, but then the legs were too wide and they wouldn't fit on top of the desk.
Oh yeah, I had to squeeze them. I'll have to grab you a different style tripod. We've got a few different ones. That's just one of those things you get to with buying stuff that works, and you buy stuff that don't work, and buy stuff that doesn't work. But we've got different styles of the legs. So we have the one with the single post with the little legs that spread out that you can actually make smaller, so you can kind of set it on. It's a little top heavy at times. Having a wider base is obviously better if you can. But also we may consider, is it the kind of thing that we staple something to your wall that allows you to just clip onto it?
Yeah.
But again, it has to be reached by my mother, right?
Yeah, there'd have to be some handle attached to it. And I got all the cords taped so they can't fall out. Because every time the cord came slightly unplugged, the iPad turned off.
Oh, yeah.
So I worked on it quite a bit yesterday and started out about an hour or two ago today and got it to the point where if all technology works all the time, it's perfect. That's pretty big if.
Well, I think you paid the bills when I was growing up based on the fact that computers don't work.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Still am. See, in my view of the picture, it's a mirror image. So when I'm looking at my side of the screen, Rejuvenate is backwards.
Really?
Yeah. And so if you take a selfie and just digitally print it, there's a lot of, like Kyle did that, and it's backwards. And then the newer iPhone has a way where you just slide your iPhone screen to the from left to right, and it flips it. And the explanation for that is that if you turn your camera backwards, you're actually in a mirror image.
Yeah, I don't have the ability. So if I'm in selfie mode, which means I'm looking
Yep.
at my screen of my iPhone, and the mirror, it's a mirrored flipped image because that's how the camera works.
Right.
I don't have the ability to.
You can't start from the left and scroll to the right on your screen with a one finger.
No, I've got no way to flip it back on my version of the. I mean, mine's.
Can you get to edit on that screen?
Edit during a camera while the camera's
Yeah.
open.
When you open a camera, I can't do this on my iPhone or on the iPad, but I looked it up on the internet, and you can touch the screen somehow, and you'll get a new menu on the bottom of the screen, which are about 6 different icons.
Yeah.
And one of the icons is edit.
No.
If you go into edit, then you might be able to flip it. Otherwise, the guy said if your iPhone doesn't have the feature, then you gotta download a flip app.
Oh, okay.
And there's multiple of them.
I think the camera pointing at yourself in that selfie mode, that might be a simply digital camera, which is why it's always backwards, but I don't know.
But if you use the camera that points on the back of your phone and point it at you, then it's not backwards.
Correct, but then you can't see how good you look.
Right. So anyway, it's just one of the other things that I was researching, because I didn't know. See, when I'm looking at the picture now, to me, Rejuvenate is backwards, but to you, you said Rejuvenate is forwards.
Yeah, it looks fine on my end. Now, here you go.
Yeah.
I flipped mine. Is mine now backwards?
Yours is now correct.
Mine's now correct?
Yeah.
How about now?
Did not change.
Did not change? Really?
Well, you're probably not using your iPad or iPhone camera. You're probably using an actual camera.
I am using an actual camera, but I'm using the zoom feature that tells me to mirror that has an option that allows me to mirror my video. But I'm wondering if that's only on my side. I didn't realize it didn't change it on your side.
Right. It's not changing it on this side. And it might be also for printing. Because the guy was explaining that it's really only a problem you need to flip before you print if you're taking a selfie, and it's got wording in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That's interesting. I always assumed the mirror my video changed it on your end. Let me go back to YouTube. I want to see what YouTube view shows me, because now I'm on mirrored. Let me see as YouTube catches up. I'm curious if it switches now, because it's just going to be a live feed from Zoom. So I guess it's going to show what I'm looking at from a Zoom point of view. And it looks fine there too. Interesting. I hadn't considered that the mirror my video would be from my view on my end. It doesn't change it on your end.
I need to interrupt you a minute.
Yeah.
When Jovi comes on, have her tell Mom how great the Rejuvenate sign is, because Mom wants me to take it down. And if it's not there, you're just looking at a mattress.
Yeah, I like it. It serves a function. Yeah, and maybe it's the kind of thing that you can set up. Does it come down easily, or is it like it's just hanging on nails?
Yeah, it's just hanging on 3 nails.
Okay. Yeah, that looks good. We got a compliment from my brother saying he'd heard rumor we'd spent time in the window room getting everything ready to
You know,
go.
I'm looking at it, and I can actually drop that sign a little bit. Right now it's chopping off the top of it, right?
Yeah, I've got the GEO that's pink is hard to see on my end, but otherwise it stops at the top of the T of rejuvenate.
Yeah. Because the camera is not square with the floor, obviously.
Right.
And it's not like a projector that compensates for that.
Yeah.
But
No.
before I got it up that high, I put the banner up before I raised the camera. So before I got up that high, it was just the right height. But I can easily, instead of hanging it from the grommets, I can drop it down.
Gotcha. Hang on, I gotta
Just
call.
hang it.
Hang on one second.
Yeah, just hang it from string. Another job, another day. But anyhow, I'll show you the rest of the room if I don't screw up the camera too badly.
We did a live on it this weekend.
There's the shelving with all of the
Yeah.
dust collectors on it.
Moved everything back in.
And then see the corner pictures. And then this isn't painted yet, but you won't be able to see it because of the backlight.
Yep. Oh, you can see a little bit.
I put more dust collectors over the window in that little cubby hole.
Oh, nice. Yeah, just trying to use, trying to make as much space out of a small space. Can we work out at home? You know, is one of the things we're selling as an idea. You know, yeah, you don't need much space. You know, do we have space from the mat left to right? And if we were to turn the mat and have it back to front, basically, if a mat is about 6 feet long, we have about 36 square feet.
There's our that's probably 6 foot.
Yeah, I think they're 5'10", or yeah, they're just shy of 6 feet. But it's just easy math to be able to look and say it's the amount of space you need in your home to work out from home.
As long as you're not 7 foot tall.
This is true. You need a little extra height for that.
Can't quite get did I get the front of the mat? Nope, not yet.
No.
So now the mat is at the edge of the sign. So to get the front,
Okay.
I still don't know the front of the mat.
No. No, the camera view is one of the limitations. It's why we've gone through so many cameras and why there are hundreds of YouTube videos out there about which cameras to use for your home gym and your home studio. Because getting that wide angle view is tough to find even now without spending hundreds of dollars. And that iPad 2 that you're running, it works. I mean, that's the great thing about the iPads is it just works. You plug it in, you connect it, you click the link, and you're zooming. But it doesn't have the camera angle width, that wide angle width that we really want. Eventually.
I guess the camera in that little laptop that no longer works that Don was using before from you. I guess that this has got It's got tears in it. It didn't have tears in it when I set it down. Dogs must have caught it with their fingernails. That little laptop that she was using prior had a nice camera view. She did have
Yeah,
to.
it was still
did have to
limited
move-
because each time she had to move from, so if you're standing up, you've got one view that you need the height, but then when you go down to the mat, you need to tilt the angle down if you don't have the right angle completely in the wide angle view. So
Right.
my mother had to move, she had to move the
every-
angle of the camera each time she went from standing up to being down on the mat.
But it was only 3.5 feet away from her, so it was easy to reach.
Yeah. No, in that case, it makes it easier to physically make the adjustment. Our goal is, and I'll switch back to the Rejuvenate view here. Ooh, that looks backwards.
It's fine to me.
Is it good on your end? Okay.
Yep.
I got to remember to flip the video settings back. You'll freak out. Yeah, so that's good on my end. So in this case, the height means, and I'm too tall for this, but Jovi, from a fitness point of view, doesn't have to reach up and ever move the camera because it gets everything in there in one view.
Is that a 6-foot mat? It looks smaller.
It's the same, essentially it's the same length mat. It's not an extra length mat. So this mat and the one you have are likely the same length.
No, this one's taller than me, so this one's at least 6 foot.
Yeah, they're this one and that one are likely the same. The pink, the extra mat underneath, I believe I cut at exactly 6x4. So this mat is, I don't know, 5'10", something like that. So the pink underneath is exactly 6x4.
Okay.
And I might take the liberty, make a little adjustment there.
Yeah,
Raise
if
it high.
if she only needs to the pink, you can get a lot higher because you have another foot in front of the pink.
We do, but as an example, and excuse me for being in my pajamas, but if we're here, we will stretch out to that kind of length.
Okay.
So in theory, we need the 6 feet, not just by the 4 feet, but like we've been talking about, the 6x6 that we want would be more like that.
Yeah, and that whole thing doesn't show now.
Right. So we can get back to the wall with this Logitech that we're using the camera currently. Can I bring it back to see the front? If I go all the way back to the wall,
Do you think that they might
can't quite see the front.
a Logitech? The only thing will take $60 Logitech.
Yeah, would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So that's why we're looking at it now with the view. He's got a higher view with that iPad
Yeah.
camera. But yeah, so one of the ways we help them is to find the right camera for that space.
$60 investment might do because I don't know how much space he has from that corner. to
Right. The problem is I don't know that he can plug the Logitech into the iPad.
But he will not. Because he needs a computer, but cannot plug it into his laptop.
I got to figure out
Gotcha.
what plugs into what. Yeah.
Look at my hair, so I'm just gonna.
Is the Logitech USB?
The Logitech is a simple USB cable, yes. Yes.
Yeah, it'll plug in anything.
Except the iPad doesn't have USB.
Yeah, you'd have to get that special cable. So the iPad, until I put a battery in it.
Yeah, no, I don't know if that iPad that you have would accept video and audio in from a USB cable. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either. Another internet search is in my future.
I've been doing the same for multiple reasons. And there, one watching now. I guess that's got to be me. All right, we're 12:55. All right, so I'm gonna get myself out of here so Jovi can get ready for the session starting here in the next few minutes, and I will log us out of YouTube. Say goodbye to YouTube Live. What camera are we using? This one? No, this one. Bye, YouTube Live. Call us if you have any questions.